Hello students, today we are going to discuss the chapter number 5, Soil Resources in India. In this video, we will be discussing what is a soil, then the formation of the soil, the composition of the soil, and the components of organic and inorganic materials. Now, what is a soil? Soil is the loose material found in the surface of the earth. Not only that, we can define or understand as a soil is a mixture of organic matter, minerals, gases, liquids, and organisms that together support plant and animal life. Now we go with the formation of the soil. Now we are going to see the responsible factors of the soil formation. They are parent rock, climate, vegetation, animals, and microorganisms. Now the composition of soil. In this, we are going to see what all things are contained in the soil. There are minerals, inorganic materials, and organic materials. Now as we go with the diagram, it shows that there are 45% of inorganic materials and the 5% of organic material, then the 25% of water and air. Now we are going to see the components of inorganic material. There are three things contained in the inorganic materials. They are silica, clay, and chalk. And the next thing to remember that the components of organic material. The organic material formed through the decomposition of animals and leaves. Now we are going to see a video which shows us how the soil is formed.
Soil formation is a beautiful process. It takes 100 to 1000 years for the formation of soil, and the factors involved in the formation of soil are parent rocks, climate, vegetation, animals, and microscopic organisms. Parent rocks refer to the original rocks from which the soils are formed. If the original rock is basalt, the soil formed is black soil. If the original rock is ancient crystalline metamorphic rock, the soil formed is red soil. If the original rock is laterite, the soil formed is lateritic soil. Now these rocks are subjected to weathering. It means softening and breaking down of rocks. Now this happens due to the influence of climate, and every day due to the heat of the sun, the temperature rises and the rocks expand, and at night time the rocks contract. Now due to regular expansion and contraction of rocks, they break up into small sediments. Sometimes the rocks break down because they are in contact with water. Lime and silica in the soil reacts with water and they are extracted out of the rocks. The rocks finally become weak and they break. When the leaves from the tree complete their cycle, they fall down and decompose and finally become one with the soil. The animals excrete when they die, and they too decompose and become one with the soil. The dead remains of plants and animals is known as humus. It adds to the fertility of the soil and makes it sticky. Earthworms, ants, termites, microscopic organisms mix up with the soil as they burrow, significantly affecting soil formation.
Students, in this video we are going to discuss about soil erosion and soil conservation. Now we go with the soil erosion. Now what is a soil erosion? Soil erosion is the removal of the topsoil In simple meaning, we understand soil erosion means to the removal of the topsoil. Now, the process of erosion usually takes place on the surface of soil, rock, or dissolved material from one location on the earth crust, and this happens with the help of wind or water flow to another location. Now, what are the causes of this soil erosion? There are some reasons for that. First is of running water, second of wind, third is of overgrazing, then the men, plants, animals, and faulty methods used by the methods of agriculture used by the men. Now, the first reason for the soil erosion, that is, we have seen the running water. In running water itself, there are three kinds of erosion. One is of splash erosion, secondly of sheet erosion, and third is of gully erosion. Now, what is a splash erosion? The erosion is the impact of falling raindrops on soil surface leading to the destruction of the crumb structure is known as the raindrop or the splash erosion. And the second is of a sheet erosion. Now, what is a sheet erosion? It is the uniform removal of the soil. It's the same way, it is also removal of the soil in thin layers from the land surface caused by the heavy rain. Now, it is prone to the land areas with loose and shallow topsoil, where there is loose soil is very loose and where the topsoil is very shallow. And the next kind of erosion is of gully erosion. Now, gully erosion is that when running water cuts through the clayey soil and makes the deep channels as gullies. Now, what is the problem with this one? Gullies cut up the agricultural land into bad land and there is no cultivation will be possible. The next reason for the soil erosion is of heavy winds, as it is given during the dry weather or the semi-arid regions. The minute soil particles are carried away by wind to far lands. Now, what happens with the heavy winds? This degrades the soil and result in desertification. Now, what is the meaning of desertification? That means the fertile land turned into desert. The next reason for the soil erosion is overgrazing. The grazing animals feed on the grasses and remove the vegetation from the land. Their hooves damage the soil. They also pull out plants by their roots. This loosens the soil and makes it more prone to erosion. And the next is of human activities, as we have seen the faulty agricultural practices made by the human beings, the reforestation, then the roads and urbanization done by the human beings, and the global warming are the few major causes of soil erosion. Now, we got the soil conservation. Now, what is a soil conservation? Soil conservation is an effort made by human to prevent soil erosion and to retain the fertility. So, in order to have the soil conservation or to save the soil, we need to follow certain steps. First and foremost is the afforestation. That means planting more trees so that we can conserve the soil. Secondly, of check overgrazing means to provide separate grazing ground for the cattle. And the next is of constructing dams and barrages. Barrage means the artificial barrier to control the flood time, control the water during the flood time. And the next is improved techniques of agriculture. We are going to study about the classification of soils. India has a large variety of soil groups, and the soil is different from each other by their origin, color, texture, fertility, and chemical composition. There are three types of soils given in your book, that is of alluvial soil, black soil, and red soil. Now we are going to watch a video in that these three soils are explained well.
Alluvial soil. Now these soils occupy 40% of the land area in India. Alluvial soil is formed by the depositional work of the rivers, and that is why they are known as riverine soil. And these soils are found in the river basins and the deltas. When I say river basin refers to an area covered by the main river and its tributaries. And when I say delta, it refers to the triangular shaped land between the distributaries of different rivers. The color of the alluvial soil can be grey, light brown, or yellowish. Now these soils are very rich in chemicals like potash, phosphoric acid, lime, and carbon compounds. But at the same time, they are deficient in nitrogen and humus. And when I say humus, I refer to the dead remains of plants and animals which decompose. Alluvial soil is rich in clay, and if the clay content is more, water retaining ability of the soil is also high. They are ideal for the growth of crops like sugarcane, paddy, wheat, and other cereal and pulse crops. Due to its high fertility, regions of alluvial soils are intensively cultivated and densely populated. The entire northern plains are made up of these soils, and they are known as inland alluvium. Now it extends from Sindh in Pakistan up to Bangladesh. These soils are also predominant in deltas known as deltaic alluvium. So it is found in the deltas formed by the rivers such as Ganga, Brahmaputra, that is Sundarban Delta. Then other important rivers forming delta are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Now in all these deltas, we will find deposition of alluvial soil. Then they are also found in the coastal plains of the country. On the basis of its age, alluvial soils is of two types, and they are Khadar and Bhangar. Khadar is light in color and is composed of newer deposits, whereas Bhangar refers to the older alluvium and it is composed of lime nodules or concord, and it has a clayey composition. Now Khadar is more fertile than Bhangar soils because new layers are deposited year after year during monsoon. Crops can be grown on old alluvium soil also, but that is after using manure. Soils in the drier areas are more alkaline and can be more productive after proper treatment and irrigation. In the upper reaches of the river valleys, the soils are coarse. Such soils are predominant in the Piedmont Plains. When I say Piedmont Plains, it refers to an area of land formed or lying at the foot of a mountain or mountain range. In the lower reaches of the river valley, the soil particles become smaller and more uniform. It is suitable for the growth of large variety of rabi as well as kharif crops, that is winter as well as the summer or we call monsoon crops. In the lower Ganga Brahmaputra valley, they are useful for jute cultivation. Now alluvial soil is found in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and the Brahmaputra valley of Assam. And then it is found in the coastal plains of India. Next one is the black soil. This soil is formed by the weathering of basalt rocks. This soil is the residual soil because it is formed at the place of its origin over the underlying rocks. It is dark in color and it is suitable for cotton cultivation. So it is also known as the Ragar soil or the black cotton soil. The Ragar soils are concentrated over the Deccan lava tract, which includes parts of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. We can find regular soil even in some parts of Rajasthan. This soil has a high proportion of Limca P, that is lime, iron, magnesium, calcium carbonate, and potash. And it is deficient in No P, that is nitrogen, organic matter, and phosphorus. Then it is red soil. Red soil is formed from ancient crystalline metamorphic rocks of the Peninsular Plateau. Under prolonged weathering by rainfall, these rocks break up to form these soils. These soils differ from place to place. They are red in color as they contain large amount of iron oxides. At several places, their color slightly changes as they appear brown or grey. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. This soil is mainly found on the plateau regions of the peninsular India. Red soil covers the states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and the northeastern states. Actually, if you look at it carefully, they practically encircle the entire black soil region on all sides. They extend northward in the west and along the Konkan coast of Maharashtra. So if you look at the characteristics of red soil, it is porous and it has high percentage of iron oxides. It is generally shallow and its pH value range from 6.6 to 8. It is poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and organic matter. It is not fertile but responds to fertilizers. It needs irrigation supports for cultivation. It contains soluble salts in small quantities.